Hello, welcome to the Irish Independence League of Ireland review. Joined tonight by Dan McDonnell in Sligo. I'm here at Tallaght Stadium. It finished Shamrock Rovers 0, Derry City 0. But Dan, at least there were goals in the showground. Shelbourne are back to winning ways.
Yeah, I presume that the lights won't come out midway during this now because I am in the car. So if they go off, it's because I've turned them off myself.
The, the
As
glamour.
opposed to this is what it's all about. But this is the problem with the 8 o'clock kickoffs in Tallaght. I'm ready to go home, and you're still yapping away to managers. But yeah, I tell you, there was some happy managers here. Sorry, well, not happy John Russell, naturally enough, because they've lost again. But weirdly, I suppose you'd probably take a lot of heart from how they played here. They played very well. Like they were probably, Damien Duff probably said himself, they were possibly the better side in terms of the football that they played. Sligo Rovers, but they were 2 down after 11 minutes. Okay, sometimes, as I say, a light does actually now go off here. They were 2
Second
down
week in
after
a row.
It's unbelievable. I've managed to fix it. They were 2 down after 11 minutes, but you know, I know that can affect the flow of a game. That naturally you have to go chasing and take a few more risks, but they actually played quite well. They got to go back before half time. They were putting pressure on in the second half, and then sort of unfortunately. From their perspective, there was a controversial red card. Cian Kavanagh getting the shot away, seems to slip on a pitch where everyone slips. I guess the ref has deemed that he was sort of out of control. Mark Coyle makes a good block. Mark Coyle put in the right of the back three. It was a very patched together Shell's team. No Barrett, no Gannon. Kavanagh gets a red. That takes the momentum out of it. But Sligo Rovers, for a team at the bottom, played pretty well. But ultimately, you can play well and not get the result. There's other weeks where you haven't played as well. You need to kind of, in some ways, you have to capitalise on these performances. And John Russell quite frustrated with that after, happy with how they played. Damien Duff, full-time, sprint over to the away fans, running back in front of the tunnel, banging the crest in front of the home fans. Very passionate. I think it's safe to say that the 4-game winless run going into the international break sat with them during the international break, and they were just happy to get a win by whatever means. It was not a great Shells performance, but it's a great Shells result.
We'll be interested to hear your piece with Damien Duff on Saturday morning, of course. And there was a big refereeing decision the showgrounds laid on. There was 2 massive decisions in the first half here in Tallaght. Game really absolutely turned its head. Rovers started really well, but about 20 minutes in, Ed McGinty deemed to handle outside the box. It was the second time in the game up to that point he hesitated with a through ball, with a ball in, and gave the referee a decision to make. Looked on the line initially, but replays suggest that it was a fair enough decision. Absolute nightmare moment for him. And Danny's had a couple of kind of hairy moments. I know he's only building those relationships with the defenders, only new into the club, but that's not the start he would have wanted so early into his Rovers career.
No, it's funny. I know when he went there, he was such a good keeper here last year. I'm in the showgrounds where he starred, but there was a feeling sometimes that he was a brilliant keeper when he was really busy all of the time, and that maybe Shamrock Rovers will be more of a test of concentration. Where you're sort of you might be on top for periods of games, and then it's more. I suppose you do look at it 2 weeks in a row, he's had a penalty concession, albeit he saved it. And then this issue here, I've watched the replay. It looks like a red. I think the Danny Mullen one looks a little bit more contentious for his second.
Harsh second yellow, bit harsh. Yeah, he was.
But what
absolutely...
was the game like? I suppose we all fall into the trap, including me, of talking about decisions. But the fact is, then it was the second half. It was 10v10, and I'm looking at that going, Shamrock Rovers haven't won. So why didn't they win?
They just didn't really hit top gear, but to be fair, so didn't Derry didn't either. There was really when you're writing the match report, you go on to the second half, and then 25 minutes in, you look and there hasn't really been any action at all. A decent point for them here in Tallaght, although their winless run against Rovers now up to 8 games. But yeah, really not many chances at all in the second half. Michael Duffy, good free kick, good Leon Post save. But you'd kind of feel that Derry be happier with the point than Rovers.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, I don't think our Bohs friends are going to be happy tonight. It feels like, look, I don't know where we go. There's obviously late drama in Waterford. There's a lot of things happening and a big refereeing decision in the TV game. But I feel like, Bohs is the one. It felt like they were a team under the most pressure coming out of the international break. They have a home game against Galway. They have to win. It's weird. Spoken to some Bohs fans who were there, who are often quite critical, who actually felt they played okay at times tonight. 2 great goals by Moses Dyer, and again, like, you have to give Galway due credit. I mean, amazing run that continues, and they're picking up from last year. But I don't know. I know they're playing Sligo Rovers at home next week, Bohs, but they got to be under real pressure. I think there was chance at half time and full time, and I mean, they just can't win games. I mean, they've lost 5 games this season. It's hard to put a positive spin on that.
5 defeats and 7 out for Bohs. That's a really, really worrying form for them. Dan, just finishing up, I suppose, late drama at Waterford. St. Pat's come from behind to win 2-1. Brandon Kavanagh, I think, with the late winner there. And another massive contentious decision. Cork City won, Drogheda won, but Drogheda denied a goal early on.
Yeah, I'll probably take those 2 together. I mean, yeah, Pats, I mean, that's just a huge momentum one for them. I was trying to keep an eye on that game. Brilliant header by Pádraig Hammond. And then you look at the score, and to be honest, it's one of those, you're under deadline pressure, 1-0, 85 minutes, you think, okay, that's the way that game's going to go. And
right.
And then all of a sudden, like, it's a Darragh Leahy own goal, a brilliant free kick by Brandon Kavanagh. But I suppose it just helps you've got match winners in your dressing room. That, that can happen, I guess. As for, I think Kevin Doherty, I think it's probably going to be a piece on the site now tonight. Kevin Doherty very unhappy. There's a question mark over whether Warren Davis had encroached into the penalty area or not before the goal kick was taken. It looks like, I know the TV debate looks to be very much on, Owen Doyle is one side, Keith Tracy the other. Was he on the line? But I know that Drogheda this season have been frustrated by a lot of decisions. The opening game against Pats, Conor Keeley should have penalty in that game.
I was there,
yeah. So I think it's a build-up of several decisions rather than just this one. But I would say from a Drogheda perspective, I think they missed chances in the first half. They go 1 down. Again, they're just great resilience from them to come back and get a result in Turner's Cross. And I suppose you look at their resilience compared to other clubs who aren't picking up results at all, who have better squads. And I think that's obviously a massive compliment to what Drogheda are doing.
Another night, Dan, when there's just huge talking points out of every single game. But for now, we'll leave it there. I'll let you get home from the showground. Safe home. You'll have reaction from Damien Duff on Saturday morning. I'll have the latest from Stephen Bradley looking back on tonight's scoreless draw. You can find that and much more on the Irish Independence website. Thanks for watching.